So how have you
How are
been?
you doing? Oh,
Are you doing okay?
yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, it's crazy how where the world's at with everything and how quiet everything is. Like even here in Shaunavon, where I think we're one of the slowest to react to things just because of our location. And I mean, the town's basically shut down, so it's crazy. And we're a farming community, so they're definitely. I mean, farming plans are going ahead, but other than that, it's amazing how quiet everything is.
And you guys all live really close to each other, obviously, because Shaunavan's small town, right?
Yeah, Ty's literally two doors over this way, and Dusty's about 4 blocks that way, and then Brock is about 10 miles north, and then mom and dad, the home yard where Luke and Lindsay are, is about 4 miles south.
Okay, that's good. So you can throw rocks at each other.
Yeah, just about.
So, Ty, how have you been doing? JJ said you guys have been in complete lockdown at your house.
Yeah, we've been in lockdown mode, so we've been finding creative ways to entertain ourselves, like reinventing Disney movies in 45 seconds or less. We had a picnic last night in front of the TV. Lucy had never watched Tarzan, so we created vines, like homemade vines, hung them from the ceiling, had a picnic, watched Tarzan, having lots of thematic evenings and events.
That's amazing. I'm not surprised at all, I have to say. You guys
Yeah.
around from the vines?
No, they're not quite that sturdy. But this is kind of like being in a tractor cab for months on end for me. I just have a little more space to roam.
That's true. Yeah, you guys are kind of used to being isolated in your tractor cabs.
That's right. Yeah.
Are you missing each other? Because I feel like you guys all spend a lot of time together usually, and now that's not happening.
Yeah, it's been so crazy, honestly. We have a new app on the phone that we've been having these conference calls all together, which is so bizarre because we're all here in the same town and literally every day we're together. And now we're resorting to, just these conference call lines. So yeah, it's been really strange from that perspective. But everybody has to adapt, and it's a minor thing to do for the overall safety of everybody. Minor sacrifice, but yeah, we have had to do things differently for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's an adjustment. But then you guys will appreciate the time you have with each other even more when you get to see one another. I think that's the
Absolutely.
which is also one of my favorite songs of yours, just saying.
Oh.
What's been the response from that song? I feel like when you guys put out the album, obviously I love all your songs, but the two that stuck out for me were Northern Lights and Silver Lining. So what have you noticed a big response to that song?
Well, I think it's definitely shifted in complexion. Not that the essence of the song ever changed, but just in terms of how I think everybody's receiving it right now. When we even recorded the music video, we showed us coming home to our families, and it was just really ironic given that, right now when the single's peaking, that we're at home with our families. We didn't really know that was going to be the case, and that it would take on a whole new level of meaning, I think, for us as individuals, as families, and hopefully for the listeners out there as well. So I think the message just holds true right now in the sense that we're all human, we're all going through this thing together, but there are always silver linings, and we have to dig deep sometimes, or sometimes they're just standing right in front of us, and this actually slows us down enough to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I always say with this thing that's going on, as unfortunate, maybe frustrating, scary it is. I feel like I'm hoping that everybody takes kind of a lesson from it, to appreciate the stuff that we might take for granted, and also make the most of the time that we have, like you guys have right now at your families. With your families, that's probably the most time you've been able to spend with them consecutively.
Yeah, it definitely puts things in perspective, and it's interesting how life so often works that way, and you wish it wasn't the case. And I don't, to be honest, I don't know if there's a different alternative. It seems like it's when hard things happen, when those bumps in the road come, when turmoil happens, and everybody faces it in their own way, in their own circumstances and whatnot. This is on a global scale, which really is unifying in some ways, that so many people and everybody really in essence is going through it at the same time. But it's often those bumps, those hard times, the struggles that really put things into perspective for us. And I think, probably if you talk to just about everybody, they've had at least moments, if not massive opportunities to do that in their own lives and think about what matters. And I think too that the extra time with the family has been incredible. Now, that's not to make light of the losses and the economic ramifications and losing jobs and all those things that I mean, we have experienced it and have been talking to fellow artists that now all of a sudden we possibly have a full slate of summer shows that represents a large part of your income completely potentially wiped out. Not yet, but it's looking that way. And so that's not to make light of those things and not to not to say that doesn't come into the equation, but at the same time, finding those silver linings, knowing that there has been extra time with the family, time to pour into areas that maybe have been neglected or not at the forefront quite as much, and whatever that is. And so, I think we've all had to take a step back and look that in the eye and figure out, how that impacts each of us.
So obviously Silver Lining is doing so well. The video for it is amazing, but what's new music look like? Have you guys already recorded stuff? I know you were down in Nashville, so what's going on with that?
Yeah, it's actually funny because we literally hopped on from a Google Duo call from the brothers chat to this chat, and there was JJ, like 4 minutes of gap, I think, between, because we were just discussing what we're doing in the next phase here. And so there is, we do have some stuff recorded already, and then we're also looking towards more plans and for the future. And so, yeah, we're really excited for new music. That's always like the blank canvas time where you get to throw paint against a wall or against a canvas and see what kind of comes out. And so I think this season is no exception to that. We have lots of new stuff coming around the band.
Yay. I was like, I wonder if they'll tell me anything.
That was very nebulous, but there is stuff coming.
Good. And so how is that working with you guys? Are you, do you guys all play instruments right now at home on your spare time, trying to keep up with stuff? Or are you guys taking a little break from music? What's that kind of looking like for you?
Well, you actually mentioned, Shannon, how things actually in some ways have gotten busier. And I think that is kind of the same for us because of everything that's happening on social media and virtual concerts and all this stuff. We've been segregated because a couple of the guys are in quarantine. And so we haven't been able to do things cohesively together in the same room, which makes things difficult. Ty mentioned he's right at the tail end of that. And Luke's got a few more days left. But we've been busy with all the other types of things, whether it's social media content, whether it's requests to do different things. So it's been really busy. At the same time, we have a space out on the farm that we're really thankful for. That is that creative space. It's where we rehearse. It's also a place where we can do music production and whatnot. And so that's been in use, and it's going to be going forward, something that we'll be able to use together in the days moving ahead. And so, yeah, it never sleeps. There's always progression in that, and that's when you have to do things differently, that's not always a bad thing. That sparks new creativity, that sparks new ways of doing things, and it's been amazing, seeing how different artists have got together, and not just the artists, but the industry as a whole, and cross genre too, to support each other, to that we're in this together. And I think that's a mark of the industry that we're in, but it's also to look back a little ways, on a tragedy. When you saw what happened with the Humboldt Broncos tragedy, we saw a whole nation, and then even cross borders banding together to support people. And I think we've witnessed that as well. And so, as hard as it is, as tough as it is, it's also encouraging to see how people stand up to stand side by side, even if it's not in the physical sense, because we're having to be separated. So that's really special.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that was the thing that's probably frustrating for you guys because you're not able to be together because you guys are kind of like social media kings. So I'm like, I can't wait for these guys to start firing out more stuff because I can only imagine how entertaining it will be.
Hey, Shannon, I just had a brainwave. Congratulations on your engagement. I just
Yes.
yeah, you know what? I just I look back and I was like, my wife's wedding flowers are sitting on this high chair over here. We cleaned our office and all of a sudden it triggered. I'm like, oh my gosh, she just got engaged.
I did, yeah. We literally got engaged and then weren't allowed to leave the house. So we were like, this is kind of nice. We just spent so much extra time together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been exciting. And yes, this is what I'm most excited for because Steven, I don't know if you watched it yet, his Disney social distancing song that he did. And so he challenged you guys to do it. And he was like, do you think they'll do it? I was like, these guys have to do the Disney challenge. They're not allowed to not do it.
Just see that before I went to bed the other night, and I actually was having a hard time sleeping because I was like, what song am I going to do? What song am I going to do? And I think it hit me. Shannon. So look out.
Genevieve Fisher just did hers, and Steven's getting like stir crazy about it because now that he's done one, he's like, this is so fun. So he's come up with like 10 other ideas. I was like, you're just going to be known as the Disney remake man if you don't just take a minute.
I'll have to make sure that the song hasn't been taken yet.
Yeah, even if it has, it'll be different if you guys do it. Last thing, I know fans, you guys are really good at communicating with your fans. Have you been getting a lot of requests from fans to do some stuff online?
T Jones, you can jump in on that as well. I think it's been great interaction with the fans on a lot of fronts, and it's been special to see how they resonate. You mentioned Silver Lining, and then just different songs ideas. I have seen a number of them, and I'm not the most involved on the actual looking at all the social media platforms of all the brothers, but I've seen a number of them, and so there have been a lot of requests and just the different interaction. It's been so neat. I've had buddies that actually one buddy I got a message just the other day from a buddy of mine that I played junior hockey with, and we haven't been in touch in a long time, and he's there with his family and they've got music on and sending messages about our music, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And seeing videos of families at home during this time listening to your music and knowing that that's something that's helping them or giving them something to do during this time to listen to, that's super special. Regardless, it's special when they listen to it, but especially during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, there's been lots of conversations happening socially right now on different platforms, but I think that's the most rewarding is when people are saying, hey, this song is getting me through this time, or this is helping bring our family together, or hey, we danced to your song in the kitchen the other day, or like any of those messages that ultimately I want to see a video of that.
Okay, but I'll provide that.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Anytime that you see that music is doing what it's supposed to do, and that's unifying people and bringing them together, or healing the heart, or whatever that looks like in somebody's circumstances, I think that makes what you're doing so worthwhile, and it kind of brings everything full circle.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys for calling and doing this. Hopefully I get to see you guys in real life soon, but this is definitely the next best thing. So I appreciate it. And I hope you guys stay safe.
Yeah, thanks so much, Shannon. Thanks for having us on. Hope we get to see you soon too.
Yes.
Yeah, and here's my virtual hug. I'm hugging right now.
Big bear hugs. All right, bye guys.